Welcome to Business Bites, the show for small business. In this week's episode, it's time to sell.
Graham Bell talks planning, Greg Trengove talks pricing, and Patrick Baker gets interactive in Business Bites workshop.
Hello, today we've got some time again with Graham Bell. We're pleased to have him on board.
Good to see you again, Rick.
Yeah, good, Graham. Today we're going to talk about sales strategies. So Graham, sales strategies, a sales plan, is that important in a business?
Well, certainly, like everything in business, the more effort and time you put into planning, the more effective the results are going to be. So, for example, if you don't have a bit of a sales plan, you'll be making decisions on the hop during the year, reacting to situations, and maybe emotionally as opposed to an actual business strategy.
Not based on solid facts, yes.
Exactly.
So with that in mind then, what would go into a sales plan?
So for the very least, you really need to think about the year ahead. So one of the first things you should have in mind is that the seasonality. So does the season affect your business? Is the things that you need to be doing during the year as a consequence of the season? So an obvious example in retailing is whether it's going to be busy over Christmas. Some retailers have that as their busy season and really need to have the strategies in place to cope with that.
So how do we decide then on the content? And what means do we use to be able to say what's going in this?
Yeah, well, certainly if you have a look at your marketing plan or your marketing research to get an idea of good ways of communicating with your customers, and then actually looking at the best timing during the year to slot those things in where you think they're going to be most effective. So you probably already have some ideas of advertising mediums that you're going to use or sales strategies. Now we're looking at the timing of and the sequence too, really, of how to place them throughout during the year.
Yeah, so this is really a follow-on step from the marketing research. Once we know what that is, who we're trying to get to, then we have a strategy to actually get to those people.
Them, yeah,
okay.
That's it. Yeah.
And so is it about having structure around that? I mean, you said not being reactive, but is it about having a whole lot of structure around the process?
Yeah, absolutely. So that you've got an idea of the timelines that are involved. A lot of good marketing and sales strategies do have a bit of a lead up to them. When you're deciding on things you're going to do in the future, it gives you the chance to have a lead up and plan out the sequence of events that need to happen so that you'll get these things to happen properly.
Yeah, I guess in the budgeting of that too, which is important. So
Absolutely.
We've got a sales plan, a marketing plan implemented, and we've got some strategies working. So good question. How do we know they're working? They may not be working. We've seen that from time to time. So.
Well, that's one of the key reasons why you'd bother to do this in the first place, is so you can evaluate. You might find many businesses you go to, when you're buying something, would ask you your postcode or how you heard about them. And that's all ways of them recording, capturing data as to how effective their things are, so that at the end of the month and at the end of the year, when they're working at next year's strategy, you've actually got some results to work on.
So strict measurement, so you know exactly where you're at. You're not going through that intuition process which many business owners have been guilty of along the way.
And so when you go to a business, Rick, what's one of the most important things for you?
On a personal level, I think, Graham, the connection with the customer. I need someone to actually look me in the eye and say hello, greet me, recognise the fact that I'm in their business. So, customer service type elements that are really important to me.
That's right, that's often very common, and so it's important to place into your plan some elements of training or excitement that you place into the business to keep it engaged with the clients. Also, a lot of businesses will talk about word of mouth as if it's something that happens by itself or organically. Word of mouth does work in businesses and can be very important, but it has to have a specific place in the plan.
So the bottom line is we have to drive the sales process rather than let it happen automatically.
Absolutely, there has to be a clear link between providing good service to one customer, where you become an advocate, telling somebody else about the business, and where they can then become a customer.
Are there any resources, computer programs that support sales specifically that can assist us in the process of this, monitoring and measuring and checking those sort of things?
Certainly, it's one of those situations where the process can be as elaborate and complex as you really want it to be. So it can start off being simply a little exercise book next to the cash register, making notes of how the person heard about the business, through to sophisticated contact management systems like ACT, computer databases that will record all the sales and marketing activity and the contacts with the clients.
So again, there's a whole range, so it's really a matter of what's appropriate for the business. Like we've said before, sometimes a bit of paper is good and sometimes a computer system is appropriate.
Technology.
In a mobile business, the mobile phone and email.
Line ball between computer and mobile phone.
Ooh, technology.
Yay, websites. The computers and the internet and that sort of thing.
Tools and equipment, generally.
Broadband.
Oh, just my computer. I love that.